welcome to another edition of Almost Martha. I know I've kind of been MIA for a little while. Things are crazy, but I really want to do something fun today. And I read an article about how the French are eating less bread. They have all this excess flour, and a lot of people in the US are buying French flour to make bread. And I'm like, I want some French flour. It's lowering gluten. It makes a lighter loaf. It should be really interesting to see what happens with this loaf of bread. So I have the French flour, and I'm going to try to make some simple baguettes without any fancy, trays and all that stuff. We're just going to do it in a very simple way and cross our fingers and hope that it works. So today we're going to make some French bread. So hold on. This should be fun. All right. First thing that we're going to do is add our packet of yeast. So this recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of that's dry yeast. This is about 2 1/4. So I just left a little tiny bit in the packet, and that should do it. I hate to measure when I don't have to measure. So I like to live a little recklessly. I have 1 1/4 cups of warm, not hot, because you don't want to cook the yeast, you just want to wake it up. So I have 1 1/4 cups of warm water that I'm going to pour right into the yeast. And I'm also going to add a little bit of honey. So about a tablespoon of honey. And we're just going to add it right in. This is what I should have just glopped in without measuring. This is tough. Okay. That's what these little spatulas are for. Now I'm just going to put my honey in. I'm going to put it in the mixture. Stir it in. And now we're just going to let the yeast do its magic. So for the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to let this yeast go to work, and then we'll see the results back here in about 10 minutes. It should be nice and foamy and alive. So I'm going to check my watch. Okay. So here is my French flour. I got 2 little petite bags of flour that came from Amazon, and this was listed as one of the best French flours to get. It really wasn't that expensive. There are some that are crazy expensive. This one wasn't that bad, just for some special bread, right? So can't wait. So that'll be coming up in step 2. But right now, we just gotta wait. Okay, I have my yeast has bubbled up. It's nice and foamy in the center. So now we're ready to start to add the other ingredients. It did call for a particular kind of French sea salt, which I don't have. I do have some Italian fine sea salt. So I have 1 tablespoon of that. And I have 2 1/2 cups of my French bread flour, and I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So we're just going to start to combine all of this right into the yeast mixture. Now, you don't put salt into this because the salt will kill the yeast. That's what I learned from the pizza making class that I took in Milan. So never add your salt until your yeast has already been activated. So just remember that. And now we're just going to start adding in the ingredients to my yeast mixture. A little bit of salt, a little bit of flour. Now I'm just going to start stirring that in. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. And we're just going to keep going. A little flour, a little more of the salt. Pour the flour. Okay. And we're supposed to keep doing this until we get a nice shaggy dough. Okay. All right, that's all of the salt. Okay. Okay. All right, well, it's a very wet dough, very shaggy. Very, very wet. Okay. All right. So now I have my bread dough. It's very wet, it's very shaggy, but it is, you can tell it is holding together. It is dough. So now I am going to put this in a warm place and I'm going to let it rise. I've had problems in the past in my kitchen of getting things, to rise easily. So I take a heating pad, from upstairs. I have it on sort of like a medium heat, and I'm going to put this bowl right on that. I'm going to cover it with a tea towel, slightly damp tea towel, and then we're going to let it sit and rise for 1 hour. Okay? Okay, little bread. Okay, let's hope so. Okay. Well, my heating pad trick worked because look at that. This dough really has doubled in size. That is exactly what we were looking for. So yippee, yippee-ki-yay. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to sprinkle some flour on my cutting board. Not a whole lot, but this dough is really wet, if you recall, so it is going to take a little bit of flour to get it to be, easily manipulated. So very wet, very, very wet. So onto my surface. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little flour on top. It's very, very wet. Very, very wet. You have to get it to where we can, handle it. And it's so wet, it can accept more flour without really doing much to the bread. So that's good. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to take, oh, my hands are like covered with stuff. I'm going to do this carefully. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut this in half as best I can. Dogs are getting restless. It's almost dinner time. The most important time of the day, next to greenie time and breakfast. They definitely have their priorities. Okay, so now this is the piece I'm going to work with first. And I'm just going to make sure we got a little flour going on here. I'm going to punch it into sort of like a little rectangle. And I have my beautiful bag of your flour. So, okay. I'm going to fold over. I'm just going to punch it down. This does not require a lot of kneading, thankfully, this recipe. So, I started reading all of these recipes to make baguettes, and let me tell you, some of them were just like, you've got to be kidding. I know they're beautiful works of art, but I don't have 19 hours. 19 hours. So I kept reading until I found this recipe on a website, Le Chef's Wife. But It looked like a really good recipe. Looked like it was kind of authentic in a sense. And I thought, yeah, why not? Why not? Let's try it. Okay. So I have my little loaf, and now I'm just going to transfer that right here to my pan. No muss, no fuss, right? We like that. We like that a lot. Now I have number 2. Annie. There she goes. There she goes. The afternoon hijinks. I know when we were kids, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd just be antsy and ready for spoiling for a fight and that kind of thing. Yeah, that was a tough time of day. My poor grandma who was babysitting us. We were rowdy youngins. We were rowdy youngins. Okay, that's not too pretty. Let's roll it over this way. Oh, I didn't do it. Okay, hold up. Punch, 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 punch. I'm going to fold that in, punch that down. I'm going to fold this again and turn it over. Okay. That's sort of what I'm looking for. So here we go. Here we go. Okay. Got a mess of flour, stuff on my hands. Be right back. I don't know. If you have a really sharp knife, you can make some slits in the dough, and I may try that in a minute. But he also took a pair of kitchen shears and just cut the dough and then sort of lifted that off to the side. Cut the dough, lifted that little pointy piece off to the side. Come on. Okay. Cut it. Lift it to the side. Cut it. Lift that to the side. Well, his looked much better than mine, I must say. But, okay, I have attempted. So now on the other side, I am going to try just, cutting it. Just really just to let some air in, right? Cutting that right there. Some little slices. And we'll see how that turns out, because now we're just going to let it rise again for about 30 minutes. Could look better, I understand, but let's see what happens. We'll come back in 30 minutes and take a look. Okay, so they did rise. They got much fatter, which we might not have, wanted. If I'd had a little cylinder or something to keep them in, that might have helped it. But here we are. But they did rise, so hallelujah. So into the oven. But we're not done. I have water on the boil. This water goes directly into this pan. And this pan goes in the oven along with the bread. This is going to make the bread supposedly be nice and crusty, like all the baguettes that you buy in the store. So this will steam. So you want to get super hot water, fill that up, put it in here. I've got it on the highest temperature, 450 degrees. It suggested 460, but I ain't got no 460. So I got 450, so that's what it's on. So got the hot water, everything's rolling. So I'm going to check on it in about 15, 20 minutes, and it really doesn't take that long. So here we go. Okay, my timer just went off. As you can see, I got lots of other stuff going on here. Oh, wow. Wowee, look at that. Oh, You're supposed to tap it and have it sound hollow. And that's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I have to work on the cutting. I have to work on that. I need a really sharp razor blade next time. But how beautiful. How beautiful. So I'm going to let this just sort of rest for a little while. You know, in Paris, they throw out baguettes after they've been sitting around for 2 to 3 hours. So it's a good thing we're going to be eating before that time passes. So we'll check in and we'll see how good it is. But look at that. We did it. We did it with our French flour. Ah, vive la France. Vive la France. All right. We'll check on it later. Okay, here we go. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, perfect. Nice on the inside. You see all those nice, lovely holes in there? That's a really good sign. Now I have some special French butter. Okay, here we go. Oh, chérie. Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm. Oh, that's so it. Nice air pockets in there. Slightly chewy. A little crusty on the inside. We did it. We did it. We did it. So, if you want the whole recipe, just go to almost-martha.com. I'm still chewing. Hold on. Very chewy. Good. Man, it's good. And it was easy. And we did it in 2 hours. So, can't beat it. Can't beat it. Thank you. Thank you, Le Chef wife. Thank you very much for the recipe. But if you want to get it on my website, just go to almost-martha.com. We'll have this nice video for you. So you just click over and see the recipe. So thank you for joining. Enjoy. Go make yourself a nice baguette. I have to say, though, I think that French flour really made the difference. So go order some French flour. And we'll see you here next time on Almost Martha. Bye, Mom.